If you watch AEW wrestling, then you know Aubrey Edwards. I watch her more than the wrestlers. Straight up. I will watch what Aubrey's doing in the ring more than the wrestlers sometimes because she's fascinating. If you ever watch AEW wrestling and you don't watch Aubrey, watch Aubrey. She's doing stuff over there. She reacts whenever anyone gets hit. She does it's like a whole mime routine that she's doing over there. It's incredible. I really enjoy, she's my favorite referee. Like, people have favorite referees. I'm wearing my referee tie today. But yeah, who has favorite referees? I have a favorite referee. It's Aubrey Edwards. And apparently she used to make video games. So I want to know about this. This is Meet Aubrey Edwards, from video game maker to All Elite Wrestling referee. I am just, I'm fascinated by this. Let's find out about Aubrey.
Being a referee is a very empowering job because I get to yell at people and they...
Oh, she yells at motherfuckers too. Oh, she'll yell at a motherfucker. Yeah. That's what she get up in a big ass dude's face. Just fucking scream at him. It's awesome.
Have to listen to me. It's kind of nice to be able to get in people's faces, but ultimately our #1 job is helping the wrestlers tell a story. And if I'm getting in a wrestler's face, we probably talked about it ahead of time.
She's breaking kayfabe. Hey, you broke kayfabe. No, it's fine. We don't give a shit about that anymore, do we?
My name is Brittany Aubert, but most people probably know me as Aubrey Edwards, referee for All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, how does Jim Cornette do with the female ref? Does he lose his fucking nugget over this? Female ref that breaks kayfabe. This is like his least favorite thing in the world, right?
I grew up in Northern California. I was a classical ballet dancer since I was 9 years old. And ever since I was little, I wanted to make video games. So I moved up.
Yo, that shows too. The ballet influence. Like, her moves are like, when she's in the ring, she totally does like interpretive dance. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts what she does in the ring. When normal refs are refs. I watch refs like in Impact Wrestling, and the dudes are like out of shape. They barely move. They're counting. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, no one's supposed to give a shit about the ref. Aubrey, on the other hand, is doing like this whole fucking mime routine on the side, which is just fascinating. And I imagine the dance background has helped with that immensely.
Wanted to make video games. So I moved up to Seattle, went to a school called Digipen Institute of Technology, got my 4-year bachelor's in computer science. My biggest claim to fame is I was a project lead on Scribblenauts, which was on Nintendo DS. And we were...
Oh shit, she worked on Scribblenauts? That's amazing. Scribblenauts is a great game. I gotta tell my kids, they loved Scribblenauts when they were little. They probably still fucking like it. She worked on Scribblenauts.
We launched title. I worked on that game for about 6.5 years. Various different iterations of it.
Oh shit, she didn't just work on Scribblenauts, she worked on all of Scribblenauts. Were there wrestlers in that?
Most people end up watching wrestling as a kid, and that's not something I did. My dad said it was stupid, and that...
Yo, I'm the opposite. I tell my kids that wrestling's awesome. I'm like, come over here and watch wrestling. Let's get into it.
It's fake and you shouldn't watch it. But I first watched wrestling, WrestleMania 27. A couple friends of mine had.
Oh wow, she's a latecomer. She's a latecomer to the wrestling game. I was watching wrestling from like WrestleMania 1, like when I was a kid, and I don't think I was watching like that live, but yo, like I picked it up fast. Like I don't know what WrestleMania we were on when I started watching. It might have been WrestleMania 1. I was early as far as that went. I mean, you know, there are people out there that watched it like back in the fucking 60s and shit, but I saw the dawn. I watched the WWE when it was the WWF, you know?
At a party, and I literally have no idea what's going on. I'm like, this is okay, I guess. And that was the moment that got my husband.
This is okay, I guess, to like most famous referee ever.
Been back into it. He was a fan when he was younger, so he started watching it, and one day I come home from work and he's...
How the fuck does this happen? You go from, I don't know, wrestling's kind of dumb to being like, oh, my whole life is wrestling.
Says, hey, you got to watch this thing that happened. And it was June, about 10 years ago, where CM Punk does his famous pipe bomb promo. And from that moment, I was hooked. And I think part of that is because I had been a ballet dancer for so long, I immediately saw the performance aspect of it. Wrestling is really the only form of entertainment that has the relationship with the audience it does.
Yeah, true, man. When she talks about wrestling in the audience and that the whole dynamic there, it is unique in this regard. It is the only thing like this. It is such a interactive, collaborative effort between the audience and the performance. Like the audience can change what's happening in the ring. It can add new context to it. Absolutely entertaining and fascinating.
The crowd is interacting. The crowd is booing.
All right, MJF, right? MJF's a bad guy. Everybody knows MJF's a bad guy. However, when MJF comes to Long Island, MJF's a good guy because the crowd fucking loves him because he's from Long Island. Happens all the time. The audience doesn't always follow the script. Sometimes shit get just totally altered by who's in attendance.
The bad guys and cheering the good guys, and performers have the opportunity to respond to that, and that doesn't happen anywhere else. So it was absolutely fascinating, and I fell in love with it. I was been working on games professionally for near 10 years, and I was looking at retiring from ballet. My body was destroyed for mental health reasons. I just needed to step away. And after leaving that, I got super depressed because performing, turns out, was a very big form of how I coped with a lot of emotion. So I needed something new, and someone came to me and said, hey, we have this indie wrestling show that I was a fan of and I attended every week. We think you should be a referee.
Yo, she jumped in fast. She went from like not giving a shit to being a part of an indie wrestling, to attending an indie wrestling show every week. That's crazy.
And I said, why would I want to do that? That sounds so silly. Like all they do is yell at people, whatever. So I tried it. I was terrible.
Yeah, she elevated it though. Yeah, coming into being a ref, thinking that it wasn't very much. I mean, I think Audrey is really I think we're going to see, she's going to inspire a lot of people to do more as a referee. She is so much more a part of what's happening in the ring than any referee has ever been before.
I tried it again. I was a little bit better. And a month and a half later, I did my first show. 2 years later, I'm here. A professional wrestling referee is a very unique role in that a lot of people think we're just someone who officiates and enforces rules.
I mean, a lot of them are just doing that. But yeah, no, they do a lot. I'm curious, yeah.
When in actuality, we have what seems like 12 jobs in a given moment. Yes, we're enforcing rules, but the rules are there to service the story. We're also in charge of helping the production of a television show. We're live on TV for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, they got to tell them when the commercial breaks are, keep them on point. If they miss a spot, there's like so much the ref does. And most refs do this. I mean, she's not unique in that regard, but she is very good at it.
We got to be off the air at 9:59, and part of that is me communicating where we are in the show based on the times I'm getting from the back of my earpiece to the wrestlers so they can adjust accordingly and we can stick to the confines of what we're given to tell that story. I really like the punctuality of we have to be on the air at 8 and we have to be off the air then. So for me, it's just a different format of, instead of following the schedule on a spreadsheet, you're following the schedule based on what Tony tells you. Day of television, I wake up, I hit the gym. I don't think a lot of people understand how in shape you have to be as a referee. Hangman Adam Page and Bryan Danielson go an hour, but I don't think people realize that Paul Turner was in there for an hour as well.
Yeah, no, you do often. I mean, part of the job of being a ref is to kind of disappear into the background. And I don't want to say that Aubrey detracts from what happens into the ring with her antics, which some people might, like wrestling purist might be like, oh, Aubrey's doing too much. Oh, what is this business that she's doing? I feel that you can still, if you don't want to see what Aubrey's doing, you don't have to look at it. Because the ref is very much off to the side, oftentimes not in the center of the screen when they're filming it. Maybe something you would pay more attention to if you watched it live. I don't know. But yeah, a good ref is just as physical as the wrestlers they're in there. Sometimes even taking a bump or two. These guys get hit sometimes. Yeah, for sure.
And that's a lot to ask of a referee because you're reacting constantly to everybody and every movement that's happening. I'll end up hitting the venue pretty early. I get in the makeup chair first because there's a lot of girls that day and I know I'm on the show and I just want to get in and get out. I do a lot of just trying to communicate to people backstage as the wrestlers are figuring things out. We're meeting up with them, talking about finishes, talking about specific spots, different camera angles. We're working with the coaches to figure out what are the story elements we want to see. And it's just a lot of throwing a bunch of things.
Yo, man, I'm getting like a new appreciation for Aubrey. She's like running the goddamn show, man. She's doing a lot back there. I had no idea.
The wall and hoping it all sort of works out. A single day, we're filming a 2-hour episode of live television, but I mean, it's a 12 to 13-hour day for us.
So today is the debut of Dynamite on TBS, and one of the things that I'm personally excited about, I even did my nails to match it, is the TBS Championship. So this has been a tournament we've had with the women's division, and I am very honored to be the person that will be reffing that match. Reffing the match itself is not terrifying. It's the act of, okay, I have this belt, I show it to people, now I need to make sure it's not held upside down. So that's that little panic attack that every ref has. It would still look good upside down. It's a very interesting thing being a woman in this role, because at the same time, I don't want to be seen as a woman in this role, but I also know what it means to be in the prominent position I am. Coming from another male-dominated industry like video games, it's something that's sort of been on my mind my entire adult life, that there's not a lot of women, and what we're doing is super important for representation's sake and giving other women opportunities. AEW is a very interesting place because
Yo, AEW women's wrestling is getting so much better too. Everybody liked to talk shit about, and you know, I did too, about the women's league in AEW wrestling, but it's really come along. And as much shit as you want to even throw here at Jade and Ruby Soho, which I've seen, these are good matches. It's getting better. The talent they're bringing in is great. And it's worth watching now, which I would not have said, you know, back in 2019, I wouldn't have said that women's wrestling was worth watching in AEW. Now it absolutely is. I think the best match of Rampage last week was the women's match. 100%. I think it was like a 4-way or something like that. It was fucking great. And the hardcore matches that they're doing are groundbreaking, phenomenal, highly entertaining. Most of the time, at least 50% of the time, the women's matches are holding up to what the men are doing, or even better.
Opportunities. AEW is a very interesting place because, to me, I don't think about it like I'm just there yelling at dudes who play fight in their underwear. I'm not really thinking about, like, you know, what it means.
I'm just there yelling at dudes play fighting in their underwear. That is the best way to describe wrestling ever.
For me to be my gender in this role, but hearing the responses from parents, especially on Twitter, saying like, my kids are watching you and saying, I want to be her when I grow up. And that's just really, really like...
Yeah, my kids love Aubrey. 100%, man. It's always awesome. They're always watching her. She's fascinating.
Like, I had no idea, right? But now I see the impact that I'm having in wrestling, and that's really great. Something like being the first woman to ref a main event title match at a pay-per-view. We didn't do that so we could check the box. Like, both Jericho and Hangman asked me to do that match because they wanted me specifically to do it.
Something about her just stood out, that she had kind of star quality, which isn't super important for a ref, but it is to me. I thought she was the best person for the job, and I thought...
Oh, it helps. Oh, it helps to have her in there being as entertaining as she is. Because, you know, wrestling matches are long and wrestling matches get boring. Even the best ones have slow spots. And... an entertaining ref can really help out. Whereas if you don't have someone who's doing a lot, maybe you don't notice and maybe it doesn't detract. But I think it's more a case where if you have someone who's really, really good, it can bring something to the next level, which is what I feel AEW wrestling is in a lot of ways.
Combining that with the fact that it's the first time ever using a female in this high profile position would be a really cool kind of a 1-2 punch, forward thinking type of an idea, because in the past you would never consider having a woman referee a guy's match. Why, I don't know, but I thought it was time to change that in 2019, and that's what we did.
Regardless of what...
Yeah, I'm going to say it. In 2019, Aubrey was the best female wrestler that AEW had. 100%. She was the best female in the ring in 2019. Aubrey, 1000%.
What it is you're doing, whether it's a male-dominated field or not, that doing the best job that you possibly can is the absolute most important thing. The fact that I'm a woman is just extra bonus.
Yo, Aubrey's the goddamn best. And I'm sure she'll be in AEW towards the till the end, and that's why I'm going to watch till the end. You can trust me on Mr. Hartgrave, Gravediggers. Let me know. Do you notice Aubrey? Are you going to check her out next time you watch AEW? Check it out. It's amazing what's going on over there. All right, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and keep digging.